I was so angry at being mocked by my rival for being single since birth that I pinched red marks on my neck. See? My boyfriend kissed that. He snorted. What man would want just you? Later, I was crying in front of the OBGYN clinic when my nemesis showed up with a black face. Who's that dog man? I'm going to beat him up. Don't cry. I'll take you and the baby. Roses weave romantic dreams. And the romance of watching roses is endless. The romance is endless. Be sure to like, comment, forward, follow, turn on the little bell. Beautiful drama on time to embrace. When I opened my eyes in the morning, I realized I was lying with a man. Naked kind of lying. But that's not the worst part. The worst part was that this man was no other than my nemesis. Ethan. Everyone in the East Coast elite circles knows about us. And we've made a connection that's higher than the sky and wider than the earth. Last night at the bar, we lost the dice and were forced to kiss. After the kiss, Ethan lazily leaned back on the sofa and laughed mordantly. MS. Chang is a bit raw. Looks like it's your first kiss? In a fit of anger, I secretly pinched out red marks on my neck and intentionally showed them to him. See? This is my boyfriend's kiss. My boyfriend is a great kisser. His kissing skills are a million times better than yours. Ethan's expression wasn't very nice at that time. Staring coldly at that kiss mark on my body. His eyes' color was hard to distinguish. Then he snorted. Luna. What man would want you? I don't know if he was upset about losing to me. But he, who doesn't like to drink, got drunk that night in an unprecedented way. I sent him home, hoping to take the opportunity to photograph his drunken and embarrassing behavior. I didn't expect backfire. But instead I was snapped by him for the whole night. Damn it. I bit my lower lip in exasperation and tried to escape from the sleeping Ethan's arms. As soon as I moved, he subconsciously wrapped his arms around me. His handsome face buried in the crook of my neck and rubbing against it. Lou. Babe. Let me stay in there a little longer. Meon? Yeah. This head is still connected to me. With the crush name on his lips. Dogs. It took me a lot of effort to escape from the bed. And when my feet hit the ground, I was so sore that I almost fell to my knees. The room was a mess. Even the couch and balcony had suspicious water stains. Fragments of last night flashed vaguely back in my mind. I was being held by Ethan by the ankles. Pinched and lifted by the legs. Even my stockings were torn. I was about to slap myself and ask myself why I didn't resist. My hand stilled when my eyes glanced at the bed. This body. This muscle. This size. Who else would be able to top that? I'll take it as a free escort. Or a well-endowed one. There's a popular saying in our high society circles. You have to keep it a secret when you sleep with an escort. It's better to show your face than your face. If this matter of me being slept with by Ethan spreads out, I won't even have the face to hold my head up when I walk in the Capitol. I endured the soreness. Quickly destroyed the evidence. Wiped the corner of the room clean. Could not see a trace. In the meantime, Ethan almost woke up. And I even sold my color to him and kissed and touched him, coaxing him to go back to sleep. After slipping out of the mansion, I found a convenience store and sat down, and was about to breathe a sigh of relief. My cell phone suddenly rang. It was Ethan. He had obviously just woken up and his magnetic voice was slightly raspy. Luna. Where are you? As soon as he opened his mouth, I thought uncontrollably of him biting my ear last night and telling me to relax. Unable to stop my face from burning, I stammered. Yes. What is it? You were the one who drove me home last night? Oh. I just stopped by to see what you look like when you're drunk. Ethan didn't dislike me as usual, but asked in a low voice. You slept at my place last night? I calmly babbled. Yeah. I was also drunk and dizzy. I slept in your guest room. And I got up in the morning and I left. You didn't sleep in my bed? No. I was vainly gripping my cell phone tightly. You want to be beautiful. Who wants to sleep in your bed? Ethan was silent. At this moment, a male college student passed by in front of the convenience store. and I let out a gasp as I was bumped on the shoulder. Ethan spoke coldly. "You're with a guy?" I immediately picked up. "Oh. With my boyfriend. We're going to go Grace now. Come on. What the hell is wrong with you?" Ethan's voice cannot be heard emotion. "Nothing. Should be I dream." Hang up. "What kind of dream? Spring, erotic dream? Well. It's best if he can think like that." I told him that he could not possibly find out anything. After all, I have 10 years of experience in helping my father clean up the mess of catching adultery. Just to be on the safe side. After I hung up, I sent out a social media post. Photoshopped an intimate photo of me and a faceless muscle man. And paired it with 3 red lip emojis. As it turns out, my flirty maneuver worked like a charm. The next month was uneventful. Ethan not only didn't suspect anything, he didn't even look for me once. I completely let go of my heart and held a party to have a good time. But before I could drink a mouthful of wine, I threw up. The moment I got the report card, I was completely bewildered. I was pregnant. Ethan, this dog man, is a goal scorer reincarnated. Even hit the ball so accurate? Thinking that the doctor had just asked me if I wanted to keep the baby gave me a bit of a headache. And I just wanted to go blindfolded and sleep to escape the question for a while. But it was not to be. I was still sitting on the chair in front of the OBGYN clinic when my mom called. "Just now. Your Auntie Wang called and said that she saw you at the OBGYN clinic. Are you pregnant?" I choked up with a feeling of grievance in my heart, wanting to talk about it. "Mom, listen to me. In fact, I kind of want to stay." But when I finished, my mom directly interrupted me. "I've already found a place for you," she said. "I've already helped you find a good marriage partner. You first come back to get married with him. Take the land in the Eastern District. To stabilize your father's attitude before." I was stunned. I just feel like a pot of cold water poured on my head. Suddenly a heart even with the body is cool through. "Mom. You don't even ask me how the situation is. Whose child is it? And then ask me to abort it? It doesn't matter whose it is. That love child brother of yours is in a high position in the group now. And a child born to a mistress still wants to snatch assets from me. Mom, is that all you care about? Am I just a tool for you to compete with that mistress for my dad's favor? Don't be crazy. If you were a son, why would I have to fight so hard? It's all my fault for giving birth to a daughter. But I didn't treat you poorly. Did I? Now I'm just letting you marry someone. How can you say that about your mother? It's just a marriage? Mom, do you consider my feelings?" My hand shook with anger as I held the cell phone. "It's just like every time you're short of money, you purposely catch an adulterer and pretend to get me on my dad's side to help him clean up the mess of his infidelity. And then use that as a way to get my dad to give me a large sum of money as hush money. Mom, you're willing to put up with this toxic marriage relationship. But I'm not." My mom was silent for a split second, and then coldly said, "I don't care what you say. Luna, you have 1 week to get married and get rid of the baby. Or you'll never call me mom again. And you won't want a penny of the family's assets." A cold beep tone came from the receiver. I completely couldn't help the sour feeling in my eyes, and covered my face with tears. I didn't even care if my cell phone fell on the floor. In the middle of my crying, a pair of shiny leather shoes appeared between my tear-blurred fingers. Miss Zhuang turned out to be so ugly when she cried. A magnetic voice with a smile resounded above my head. I suddenly raised my eyes and was met with Ethan's bedroom eyes that were narrowed and staring at me. What is he doing here? Thinking about how my makeup looks when I'm crying. I reach up to wipe my tear stains and turn my face away. "I'll have you widowed." Ethan didn't move his feet with one hand in his pants pocket, a smirk on his lips. "That muscular boyfriend you posted on social media. He didn't come with you for the checkup? Dumped? Crying alone at the OBGYN clinic is easy to misunderstand." I stood up with a swish. "Don't be ridiculous. I'm not pregnant. I didn't come to OBGYN clinic because I'm pregnant." In the next second, the nurse walked out towards me. "Ms. Luna, Do you still have an abortion appointment? If you don't, there's no room for you today. Me. Ethan obviously didn't expect it to be true. He suddenly raised his eyes to me. His eyes were sharp. Luna. How long have you been pregnant? As his words fell, he glanced at the checklist I had placed on the chair and suddenly bent down to get it. I was so scared that my heart almost stopped. I quickly grabbed the checklist one step ahead of him and hid it behind my back. So close. If Ethan found out that the baby was his, he would have forced me to abort it right away. Ethan. What are you doing? A woman's uterus is private. You can't just look at it. You want to know, I'll tell you. I'm pregnant for 9 weeks. How about that? Are you trying to make fun of me for being pregnant out of wedlock? I glared at him with a strained neck. The reasoning is not straight but also strong. The excellent acting skills that I had practiced from years of acting in front of my dad came in handy at this moment. Ethan stared at me for about 10 seconds. But he didn't seem to see anything. As soon as the word 9 weeks came out of his mouth, his expression became even colder. Obviously, the timing didn't match up with the night I sent him home. He asked coldly, "Is the baby your muscle boyfriend's?" I sheepishly muffled my voice and answered, "Well, he doesn't know? Why should he know?" I acted like I didn't care. "Call him," Ethan said without expression. "Tell him to come here. Now." How can someone come who doesn't exist? I lied. He's blackballed me. Blackmailed? Ethan repeats these 2 words in a low, cold tone that has the oppressive feeling of a mountain of rain. Luna. Aren't you usually very arrogant and capable of shouting? Now that you've been dumped and bullied by a man, you're such a wimp? He sneered and pressed, as if he was very angry. Wait. Why would he be angry? Even if he's my arch-rival since childhood. It's too immoral to mock me at a time like this. Right? I bit my lower lip in irritation and retorted angrily. What do you mean I was dumped? I dumped him. Ethan sneered. Oh. Then what are you crying about? I can't cry for joy. Ethan stopped talking. I thought he had finished watching and laughing at the movie, and should have left. I didn't realize that after a moment of silence, he actually spoke again. What are you going to do about this child? What are you going to do with this child? I almost blurted out. I'm going to keep him. In fact, when I answered my mom's phone call just now, although I argued with her verbally and broke down crying, but in my heart, I was not surprised and even had a strong premonition. If I don't get an abortion this time and go back to get married, my mom will really not want me anymore because I will be useless to her. People who have been unloved are always rational and scary. This child is probably the only family I will have from now on. Stay? Ethan gave a cold humph and couldn't stop his tone from being prickly. Luna. Do you like that muscular naked man so much? You're going to keep his baby? I didn't realize you were such a relationship brain. See? He's just trying to make fun of me. That asshole. I didn't want him to see my messy, vulnerable side. So I turned my face away from him, got up and left. As it turns out, I overestimated my mom's love for me. I wanted to go home and pack my personal belongings. As a result, the mansion gate didn't even let me in, and the suitcase was directly thrown out. I squatted down expressionlessly, stuffed the dirty and wet clothes into the box, dragged the box and turned to go. I didn't walk far. The rain got heavier and heavier, and the sky was dark and horrible. I was soaked to the skin and shivering, anxiously looking for a place to hide from the rain. Suddenly, the headlights flashed blindingly. A black car parked horizontally in front of me. The window fell down and there was Ethan's overly handsome face again. He had one hand on the steering wheel, and his eyes fell on me, glancing back to the suitcase I was dragging. I subconsciously hid behind me, and said with a stiff upper lip, "What a coincidence. I'm getting ready to go out on a trip." Ethan didn't say anything, directly pushed the door and got out of the car. Looking at him approaching towards me, I was a little embarrassed. Hiding back and weakly said, "Ethan, don't come to mock me. I really don't have the strength to fight with you today, you let me go." The words were not finished. My tired body suddenly hung in the air. Ethan easily picked me up by the waist and hooked his arm over my suitcase. Luna. You said you were going to keep the baby and get caught in the rain like this? Are you a pig? Scolding me again. I was put in the back seat by Ethan, who toweled off my hair and face and turned up the heat in the car. I was so dizzy I was going to say something but quickly fell asleep leaning back. When I woke up, I was lying in Ethan's bed. There were 2 thick layers of blankets covering my body. The feet were also wrapped up in separate blankets. No wonder I woke up hot. There was movement coming from the kitchen. It was Ethan making porridge. Seeing me walk out, he took a long-legged quick step forward and put his palm on my forehead. No fever. Is it hard? I shook my head. He pulled me to sit down. Drink the congee first. And take a hot bath afterward. Oh. I was so hungry that I didn't bother to ask him why he was so kind all of a sudden. So I picked up the bowl and ate. Eat slowly. No one is competing with you. You're no good. Ethan sat across from me and reached out to wipe off the grains of rice from the corner of my mouth. I slapped his hand away and glared at him. You're scolding me again. Okay. You've eaten enough. You're strong now. You know how to glare. He said. Ethan laughed gangly. Felt out a cigarette and wanted to light it. But suddenly thought of something. He directly threw the whole box of cigarettes into the trash can. I froze. Embarrassed to be in front of him. It's okay. You can smoke. I'll leave in a while. In the next second, Ethan pushed my cell phone over and faintly said, I muted it when you fell asleep. Here. It's full of your mom's texts and calls. Obviously. Had seen all those nasty things about the forced marriage. Shame on you. I grabbed my phone and pressed it under my butt. Playing dead. But as the wind and water turned, within a few minutes, Ethan's cell phone rang. Bastard. How dare you not answer the phone? Where is my granddaughter-in-law? Why don't you hurry up and bring it to me? What's the use of having you? Grandpa. I am in love with your granddaughter-in-law. Hang up first. Ethan said in a dangling manner and hung up directly. I was a bit embarrassed and finished the porridge haphazardly and stood up. Thank you for the porridge. I'll just leave first. Luna. Ethan suddenly called out to me. The tone that was always playful took on a bit of formality. I looked back at him. What? Let's get married. Oh. Ah. Until I came out of the Civil Affairs Bureau after receiving the license, I was still in the dark. I actually married Ethan. If word of this got out, half the people in the capital would be scared to death. Oh. And I married with a ball in my stomach. That would scare the other half to death. Ethan finished his video call to his grandpa, came back and saw me standing there, and naturally put his arm around my waist. A pregnant woman standing on the steps. Don't you know the danger? This action was too intimate. I was at a loss for words and subconsciously wanted to withdraw from his arms. You. Don't move your hands. Mrs. Chen. Ethan lowered his head and brushed his thin lips across the tip of my nose. It's already legal. I call this being in love with my wife. It's commendable behavior. His tone was low and smiling. Especially when the word wife came out of his mouth. It seemed loving and ambiguous. My cheeks burned inexplicably. And I couldn't help but think back to that crazy night, when he stuck in my ear and shivered violently. I realized that the original man also can moan. What are you fuming about? Who are you thinking about? The flesh of my waist was rubbed punitively by the man. When I heard the word who, I was a thief and reflexively said, the child is not yours. The words came back to me. When I looked up, I met Ethan's gloomy face. The look in his eyes was as if he wanted to eat me alive. Luna. You're married. And you're still thinking about that muscular scumbag? Well. Just thinking about it. Just thinking about it. Ethan's eyes became even colder. Eh? What did I say wrong? Well. Life has forced us to turn our former rivals into sugar daddy. We signed an agreement. We'll be married for a year. He'll pay me $50 million. And I'll help him with his family. For the sake of money, I have to put up with it. I thought about it and patted my 36D breasts and assured him. We are just marriage of convenience. The divorce will be effective after 1 year. I will take away my own children and I will never rely on you. Anyway, you know, I will never fall for you. Ethan's eyes were originally cold. Now it's suddenly icy. Dog man. Why is it so hard to serve? Ethan snorted coldly. His tone was hard to tell if he was happy or angry. You are thinking quite liberally. That's in order not to add trouble to Sugar Daddy. I'll do my best. I was quick to show my loyalty. If you're going to do your duty, then you're going to do your basic wifely duty? What are those duties? Sleeping with you. My eyes widen. I'm pregnant. How can I sleep with you? Ethan grunted. What's the effect of being pregnant? Is that all you've got? I was stunned. After reacting, my face quickly turned red. Ethan. You shameless. Before he could finish his words, Ethan suddenly lowered his head and kissed. The incoming kiss came with a wave of inexplicable anger, kissing my lips and tongue raw. I whimpered, but he pressed down on the back of my head, getting more and more addicted to the kiss. In the end, it was only when I bit him that I pushed him away and raged. Ethan, your damn kissing skills are still so bad. Just like that night. Shit. My mouth was fast. Meeting Ethan's suddenly narrowed eyes, I changed my words. It's not even comparable to that night when my ex-boyfriend kissed me. I chose to die or show my face. Ethan smiled angrily at his words. In front of my new husband. I'm calling him my ex-boyfriend. Okay. Luna. You're really good. Do you think I can't find your ex-boyfriend? Of course not. How can you find someone who doesn't exist? I don't believe that Ethan is capable of this. I have to believe it even if I don't. 3 days later, when Ethan brought a man to me, I was dumbfounded. He is Tyler, the third young master of the Howe family in the capital. Strawbag trust fund kid. Playboy. The women he has played with can't even be finished by 10 trucks. And the women who are known to have had their veins cut for him are more than 30. Ethan raised his hand. The assistant put a photo in front of me. It was the full photo of the faceless muscle man that I had photoshopped in my social media post. Isn't he the one whose face was cut off in the photo you posted in the social media post? Me. Shit. I just found a random photo on the internet. But it's really from the East Coast elite circles. Ethan narrowed his eyes and looked at me coldly. What? You don't recognize your ex-boyfriend? With the evidence in front of me, there was no way I could deny it. Unless I tell the truth. But in order to save the baby in my stomach, I can only bite my teeth and admit it. Seeing me nod, Ethan sneered and suddenly kicked away the chair and stood up. His eyes penetrated a touch of sinister. He raised his hand and pulled off his tie, wrapping it around his palm in a circle. The movement was elegant, but bloodthirsty. Young master. Wrong. This chick I don't recognize Tyler hadn't finished a sentence. He was picked up by Ethan by his collar and punched in the corner of his mouth. Chick? Who told you to call her that? Who told you to look at her? Huh? Punch to punch. Bang. 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 I was so scared. Don't kill her. Ethan. Wait a minute. Ethan's movements were stuttered and he looked back at me. His eyes dark. Are you hurt? Luna. You now hold the title of Mrs. Chen. Dare to plead for him one word try? Forget it. He's a scumbag who plays around with women anyway. So beating him up is a way to do justice. At the end of the fight, Tyler was bruised and swollen, holding his head and crying in pain. I didn't sleep with her. I really don't remember. Tyler is so wrong. Young master. Tyler is so wrong. Playing denial with me. Huh? Ethan squatted in front of him and patted his face. Is she a woman you just play with and sleep with? You're not worthy of her. Are you? She's my Ethan's wife now. And shall always be his wife. If you dare to look for her again, or have any contact with her, I'll chop you up and feed you to the dogs. Ethan came out with a little blood splattered on his clothes. I was protected by the bodyguard with an umbrella at the door. And immediately went up and said, "Are you all right? Will not really killed, right? Why? Want to ask him? No. No. I care about you. I do not care about him." I was afraid of revealing. Nervously sneak a peek inside. In the next moment, my feet became airborne, and I was picked up by Ethan and shoved into the car. "How many times have you peeked inside?" Ethan held me down on the back seat. The intense aggression under his eyes. Looking at my heart panic. I didn't look. Still talking tough. "Luna. How did you ever get your eyes on such a trashy man? You don't lean so close to me." I tried to push him, but my hands were clasped and held above my head. He bent his head and forced himself closer, his hot breath wrapping around me. When the child is born with my surname Chen, the IQ should be able to pull back a little. As you or he. Wasted. But aren't we divorced by then? The big hand clasped on the waist suddenly tightened. Ethan coldly asked. "Divorce? You are not still thinking of marrying him, right?" Luna. You still dare to hesitate?" Ethan looked like he was being exasperated and laughed, suddenly leaning down to press his head against my lips. Kissing and biting. "Okay. You've got a bad face to me. But you're sleeping with him. How can I be worse than him? Not better than him? Luna. I think you're blind. What kind of vision is that? Huh?" His tone was fierce. My nose soured and I was suddenly aggravated. "Ethan. You scold me again." Ethan was stunned at first. And then he said in a low voice. "You're still crying." When he saw that my tears didn't stop and were still flowing downwards, he was completely flustered. "I won't say it. I won't say it. Okay? Okay. Okay. I'm wrong. Hubby is wrong. Hubby deserves to die. Hit the mouth. Don't cry. Don't cry. Okay?" Ethan lowered his head and kissed away my tears. His tone softened and lowered. Patiently coaxing. "You and the baby. I'll take them. I'll support you for the rest of your life," he said and lifted the hem of my skirt. Long fingers climbed up my thighs. "Babe. Lou babe. Husband serves you and makes you comfortable." Huh? I was sobbing so hard that by the time I came back to my senses, my skirt was on the floor. "Ethan. What are you doing, ah? They say a man's mouth is a deceitful ghost. Still talking about coaxing me to serve me. It's obvious that it's for doing that kind of thing." When I woke up, I was already in the apartment bedroom bed. 10 fingers are sore and soft. Cannot even shake up. There were also shameful marks all over my collarbone and body. I lay paralyzed on the bed for a while, angrily cursing the dogman before I reluctantly got up. In the dining room, a thermos box held cooked nutritious dishes. There was a note pressed on the side. "Get up and finish it. Throw it away if it's past 10. I'll have it sent fresh. Remember to take folic acid first. Not ice." It's in Ethan's handwriting. He's a good-looking guy. And he writes well too. I hummed. Turned to wash up. And found that the bathroom was all covered with non-slip mat. And even the toilet seat was changed to my favorite powder blue color. Dogman is quite meticulous. I proudly stepped on the non-slip mat. A side mirror. The corner of the mouth did not even find themselves hooked. I don't know if it's just Ethan taking good care of me. I didn't have any discomfort in the first trimester. Not even a single morning sickness. Although I hid the fact that he and I got married, my family still knew about it. Not only did my mom call me 3 times a day, but my loved child brother, who was so high and mighty, also made an unprecedented request to see me in a low voice. I know what they are because of. Ethan is the eldest son of 2 of the top families in Beijing and Hong Kong. And his background and status are appalling enough to be unrivaled. Of course I wouldn't pretend to avoid it. And directly and squarely utilized this to talk to my dad about the judgment. My dad does not know we just marriage of convenience. In order to please Ethan, gave me a large amount of Zhuang's equity. I accepted it without hesitation for a second. By the way, My dad knocked several sets of real estate and antique paintings and calligraphy. The name of the game is to let Ethan see the sincerity of our Zhuang family. I feel guilty for utilizing Ethan in this way. Of course. Just a little bit. After all, I have sore hands, sore mouth and sore chest every day. And this dog man didn't take advantage of me at all. I strongly suspect that he married me just to covet my beauty. Or have some strange pregnant poly fetish. Ahem. I rubbed my stomach in thought and couldn't help but mutter. Baby. Your real dad is a dog. But he takes good care of you. Shouldn't mommy reward him? I sent Ethan a messaging app. Chin dog aga. I want to design a button down for your new bee. You quickly send your size. Ethan replied in a second. 25.79 centimeters. Me. Are you a pervert? Not this size. Ethan. Width 8 centimeters. Current color status can be taken picture. Wife, your honor, need please reply 1. I was so angry that I couldn't help but scold him. Liar. I see you just 1 millimeter. Although for the next month, I paid a terrible price for that 1 millimeter of mouth high. But in the end, I made that button down. Hand-drawn, designed, and cut. I was going to give it to Ethan tonight at his birthday party. But when I arrived at the clubhouse box with my gift bag, I realized that the atmosphere was not right. Ethan was sitting on the sofa, shaking his glass, his face in dismay. What's wrong with you? I didn't finish my sentence when I saw the beautiful woman sitting on the side. Sophia. Ethan and I shared a high school classmate. Rumored to be the only crush Ethan ever wrote a poem about. The meon that Ethan shouted the night he got drunk should be her. No wonder I said this man is in a bad mood tonight. So it's because he's in love. The dog man also has today. I should be happy in my heart. But for some reason, I was originally very hungry. But I suddenly lost my appetite. I sat down in the corner and hid the gift bag with button down behind me. I shouldn't have made him any button down. And stayed up all night to do some embroidery. It's so stupid. Luna. Are you nuts? As I expected, Ethan didn't treat me as intimately as usual and even sent me a messaging app. Something happened these days. You don't sit on my side for the time being. In a while you go back earlier. I'll let the driver send you. Oh. If you don't sit. Don't sit. Who wants to sit with him? I sniffled and wanted to mingle and slip away. But it was not to be. A trust fund kid brought in a girl. Probably drunk. And started gossiping with a big tongue. That Tyler on the Howe family oldest 3. But also want to pay me to help him have a son. I took his sperm to do test tube. Laugh. You guess what? Tyler's sperm didn't work. The doctor said he was born with a genetic defect that makes it impossible to fertilize a woman in his life. In the next second, the whole table burst into laughter. Ethan, however, looked up suddenly and straight to the corner where I was sitting. I pretended to be deaf and bowed my head. In this instant, there were only 2 words in my mind. It's over. Husband by contract's crush is back. And the baby in my belly is still suspected of falling off the horse. What kind of absolute little bitter melon am I? The whole birthday banquet. I am trembling with fear. Lest Ethan upset. Immediately pull me to abortion. Although he is quite good to me this time. But my mom is also good to me But she is not really love me. Said don't want to don't. I can't trust anyone but myself. The party is over. I secretly pulled Sophia. That. You want to go to my house to sit in the evening I was sitting on the shoebox by the door when Ethan returned to the apartment. His brow furrowed as he quickly stepped forward and pulled me up. Leaning over to give me a pat on the hem of my skirt. Why are you sitting stupidly in the doorway? Aren't you afraid of getting cold? No. That. You go inside. She's waiting for you inside. I winked curtly at Ethan and opened the door and pushed him in, closing it with a flourish. Then I flew downstairs and sat down in front of the canto-boil stand in front of the entrance. Indignantly, I ate a large portion. How long has it been going on? Ethan and Sophia aren't really doing it at home, are they? It's also good. If he can be happy, I lied to him about the child thing. He may be able to soften his heart and let me off the hook. Hiccup. I touched my stomach. I'm full. I feel my pockets. They're empty. Oh ooh. I forgot my cell phone. I'm always losing my cell phone when I'm pregnant. What should I do? I still want to stay in a hotel. I'm not going to stay here and help the boss wash the dishes all night. Am I? I was sighing when a tall figure enveloped me. It was Ethan. You're here. I stood up with a swish. I don't have any money with me. Quickly pay for me. Who told you to stand up so fast? Didn't I tell you that the doctor said to move slowly? Ethan frowned at me. Finished paying and pulled my hand. Go home and go to bed. Pregnant women know how to stay up late day after day. Eat less roadside stalls in the future. You'll learn how to make whatever you want to eat. Oh. But I can't walk anymore. I'm full and sleepy. Finally. Ethan picked me up by the waist and slowly walked back. I curled up in his arms. Too sleepy to open my eyes. And muttered. Where's Miss? Fu. Did she go back? How are you guys doing? Dead. Humph. Ethan. Just pretend. You must be in a very good mood to see your me-on baby. Look at you smiling. Yeah. It's good that my Lou baby doesn't piss me off. Ethan asked suddenly as he walked slowly with the girl in his arms. Why would you think I like her? Didn't you write poems? I yawn. Doesn't she like you? No. Ethan. You're actually really nice. A little badmouth. A little needy. But I think you're nice. Nice. Why doesn't Sophia like you? Yeah. Ethan laughed lowly. So why don't you like me, Luna? Why can't you try to like me? No one answered him. I had fallen asleep against his arms. Ethan stared at my sleeping face. Thick emotions gathering into a sea of stars under his eyes. He lowered his head and planted his thin lips gently on my forehead. I'll tell you tomorrow. Good night, wife. But Ethan didn't wait until tomorrow. When he woke up the next morning, I was gone. I'd booked my flight in advance. When the plane took off, I cried uncontrollably. I couldn't let go of my mom. I couldn't let go of the people who had obviously treated me badly and had given me a little love. More than anything. I couldn't let go of Ethan. It's okay though. Time will smooth things out. In a year's time the agreement will come into effect. We'll be automatically divorced. And he'll have a better wife. From now on, I'm going to be good only to myself and to my baby. When I got to Singapore, I bought a mansion and hired a housekeeper to take care of me. I didn't know if Ethan was looking for me. I changed all my communication devices and isolated all means of contact with the capital. I started to draw designs and set up my own clothing company. Life was cozy and full. When I was 8 months pregnant, I saw the domestic news broadcast. The Chin Group had gone through a tumultuous reshuffle. And Ethan had officially become the new head of the family, traveling with a private jet escort. He was wearing a black trench coat and was captured by the media in a few shots. His side face was as handsome and superior as ever. But it seems that the state of mind is not very good. The expression is cold and deep. I turned off the TV after only a few glances. All I felt was sore eyes. I touched my high baby bump and hummed the prenatal education song softly. Baby. Do you hear that? Your daddy is so awesome. One morning a month later, I saw a news story again. It is reported that the limousine of Chan's newest power broker struck a bridge abutment at Riverside Bridge at 8:25 a.m. this morning. And casualties are unknown at this time. I jerked up from my chair. At the same time, a tightening pain in my abdomen came. I gave birth safely to a daughter. 6 pounds 6'2". The doctor said it was the most beautiful baby girl she had ever seen born. And that she must have inherited it from me. I think she probably got it from her father. 2. Ethan's face. It is a pity that it is not inherited. I also wonder how he is doing now. I stayed in the hospital for a week, keeping an eye on the news. After a few more days, I was discharged from the hospital and finally couldn't resist logging into my old messaging app. Thousands of unread messages. A good chunk of them were from Ethan. Luna. Where have you been sneaking off to again? Come home. You have to go to labor and delivery today. 1111. Not answering me? Tantrum? Babe. Stop it. I have nothing with Sophia. I don't like her either. It's all in your head. I haven't even touched a finger. I haven't even touched her. It's my fault that I didn't explain to you in advance. I've been busy with my family recently. You're really ignoring me? Luna. If you don't say something, I'll get angry. I'm really angry. Okay. I'm not angry. Just say one word back to me and don't make me worry so much. Are you there? You're not answering your phone? Where have you been? How dare you run away? Do you believe I'll break your legs? Okay. You even emptied your closet. You're really leaving? Is Ethan so bad that he can't even compete with Tyler? Luna. Do you really want to leave? I miss you. Can you get back to me? I really miss you. Please. Wife. You don't want me anymore. Do you? You really don't want me anymore. I flipped through the messaging app. My fingers trembling. He sent so many. It's all at 3 or 4 in the morning. Doesn't he ever sleep? I quickly clicked on social media post and saw that Ethan's brother just posted it. He said Ethan is dead. Early morning drag race. Killed in a car accident. Just as I was giving birth to my daughter. I forgot how I called and booked my ticket and how I got to the airport. All I know is that I was shaking the whole time. And I was surprisingly calm when my heart was pounding. I left my daughter Joy with a trusted friend and boarded the fastest flight to China. When the plane landed in the capital, I had a feeling that it was a lifetime ago. I didn't bring any luggage. And I couldn't care less about the fatigue of traveling. I went directly to the apartment where Ethan and I got married. When I opened the door, the apartment was empty. Everything was exactly the same. Even my toothbrush and towel were still there. My favorite milk and snacks were still in the fridge. All freshly dated. Someone had obviously replaced them regularly. I looked around. Didn't find anyone. Turned around and hurriedly headed downstairs. Only out of the building door. I suddenly found that the original people walking in the neighborhood. All gone. The surroundings are quiet. Even the partial door and dog hole used by the cleaner were blocked by a large iron plate. Neat footsteps sounded behind them. A group of black-clad bodyguards quickly ran over and surrounded me. I suddenly raised my head. Only to see a path give way in the center. And a tall, upright figure walking towards me. It was Ethan. My first reaction was relief that he wasn't dead. Social media post. That crow's mouth. Was looking for someone to slap him. Second reaction was, he's lost weight. My third thought was, oh shit. I was caught. I subconsciously stepped back. Ethan. As if had been touched against his will. Strides in front of me. Forcing me to retreat. Run. He looked at me coldly. Luna. Why don't you run one more time and I'll see? I was taken back to the apartment by Ethan. Sitting in the room where I once lived intimately with him. I looked around a little wistfully. What are you looking at? Trying to find a hole in the ground? Ethan's tone was icy. You can open the window and jump. No need to run. Just reincarnated. But I'll jump with you. Reincarnated, you won't be able to run away. Why don't you climb out of the ventilation ducts? Do you need me to give you a hand? Ethan. I bit my lip and glared at him. You're being weird again. I came back here because I was worried you'd die. Do you care if I die? Of course I care. I was worried sick. I blurted out. Ethan's facial expression gave way and he just stared at me. I realized that his eyes were all red and bloodshot. As if he had never had a good night's sleep. Not like the hangdog, jerky guy he once was. I avert my eyes. My heart inexplicably sour. At this time, the cell phone in my pocket rang. Caller ID. Baby. Ethan's hands were long and reached out to grab my cell phone. I pressed it off as quickly as I could. Baby? Ethan glances up at me unexpectedly. His throat rolling. You got a new guy overseas? It was actually housekeeper who called. Housekeeper's messaging app name is Baby. Where's the baby? Ethan stared at the screen that had gone off. His voice lowered. I'm going to get it back. I opened my mouth. The baby is mine. He gritted his teeth and looked at me. Isn't it my seed? Me. You lied to me and I'm not done with you yet. Didn't you sleep in my bed that night? I woke up happy as hell and then you said no. I thought I was just having an erotic dream. That Tyler I sent to the hospital for months. Hundreds of stitches. He's sterile. The baby is mine. Luna. It's my baby you've been carrying since the beginning. I couldn't argue with that. Stammered. I'm afraid you don't want the child. I don't want my baby? I'm not a good person? Then who knows if having a child will affect your future marriage? Or if your crush won't be happy? What if you want me to abort it? That's why I knew it was useless to talk tough and lowered my head. I'm sorry, Ethan. I shouldn't have lied to you. I just want to keep this baby so badly. Ethan stared at me dead in the face for a moment. I thought he was going to say something. But he asked me, what does crush mean? I laughed and cried. It's Sophia. It's the woman in your heart. Ethan said directly to the bodyguard at the door. Go get Sophia killed and bring the body here. I glared at him. Hey. Ethan. I don't like Sophia. I never liked her. Luna. Did you hear me clearly? Then. Didn't you write poems for her in middle school? It's so mushy. What's with the sheepy? I wrote Lou. The sleep of sleep. The sleep of Luna. At that time I played ball fell right hand. Write the word is too ugly. Afraid you dislike? Let the school entrance print store boss help me print out. Is he typed the wrong word directly sealed? That night you brought Sophia to the house. She did think I liked her too. I made it clear to her to not show up in front of you and me in the future or I won't be polite to her. Ethan leapt to his feet and looked at me through slightly gritted teeth. Luna. I repeat. I don't like any Sophia. I like you. I fucking like you. Even if you don't want me to run away. I still like you. I'm fucking stuck with you. As long as I don't die. You can't change your marriage. After he finished speaking. The living room was silent. The bodyguards all had the good sense to go out. And took the door with them. I sat dumbfounded. Digesting what he said. Meon. Lou. So that night in bed? It was me he was calling out to as well? Ethan waited for a while without seeing me speak and frowned. Luna. Are you deaf? Hey Luna. Finally. He couldn't help but sit down. Lowering his head and his voice. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been so loud. I know I'm wrong. I'm just afraid you'll run away again. Luna. Can you say something? Even if you don't want me. You have to say the reason for refusing. Without waiting for him to finish. I leaned over and kissed his lips. No refusal. Ethan. I like you too. I'm not running. Never again. I know it's wrong too. And neither of us are angry anymore. Okay? Ethan's body was shaken. And the darkness of his eyes was instantly infused with light. Revitalized. He raised his hand to hold the back of my head and kissed me back deeply. His lips and tongue crashed in. Entangled with me with his thoughts. Then he picked me up by the waist and walked to the bedroom. Kissing me as we walked. I whimpered and pushed. Ethan. I just had a baby. What are you doing? Well, you've just had a baby and you're running around. You're not taking care of yourself. I'm here to check my daughter's milk. Shameless. Well, how do you know it's a daughter? I like daughters. And they better be like you. Because I like you. Well. Whenever a man gets dirty, he's got a mouthful of love talk. Don't you think? When Joy was 2, Ethan and I had an open wedding. The man was so extravagant. I doubt he found any royal wedding ceremony to follow. So lavish I was embarrassed. And I invited Sophia. And I apologized. In high school. The poem was on my desk. But I saw the first 2 words and handed it to her. And she thought Ethan liked her. So the rumor went on for a long time. With various versions. Sophia also told me that at the end of dance class every day in high school, She saw Ethan standing outside the building with his jacket. At first, she thought he was waiting for her. But when she went over to talk to him, he just ignored her. Now she realized that Ethan was waiting for me. He was afraid I'd be unsafe at the end of dance class. So he followed me home. But I had a crush on another tall, skinny, bookish senior and wrote a poem about it. As a result, Ethan reported me to the teacher the next day. From then on, our relationship was over. We choked and disliked each other until we graduated and grew up. Why have I been single since birth? Because whenever I play anywhere in the capital, I am bound to run into Ethan. Eventually, the whole place became a one-man show, with everyone watching us go head to head. All the time I spent with men, it was all about him. We'd been rivals for so long. We'd become the ones who knew each other best. Now that I think about it, this dog man is really scheming. I looked at Ethan, who was holding his daughter in the distance. He looked at me too. His seductive bedroom eyes narrowed and his thin lips moved toward me. I silently read his lips. Honey, want to kiss you. Shameless. Thinking about this in the middle of the day, I glared at him. But the corners of my mouth couldn't help but raise in a smile. I walked towards Ethan and my daughter, my feet firmly planted and my eyes more happy and peaceful than they had ever been. End of article.